As you can see, we're now at the first page. This is what you'll come to when you finally log into Class Dojo. As you can see from my page at the top, you'll have your name, and below which you can then invite other teachers who may take your class, for example, Mrs. Bell. You can also change your profile settings, your picture and so on, or you can obviously log out. For today, the thing I'm going to quickly go over is just how to create a class and then how to give them various points. On Class Dojo, you can obviously see your profile, you can add a photo, although I decided not to. And if you go down, you can see a demo class where you can try out all your ideas and have a wee look at how it works. So I'd probably suggest you go to demo class first of all and have a wee look. You've got your whole class, obviously, and then your individual students, and you can obviously give them points. For example, if they're on task. Or you can also take away points. For example, Johnny Depp might have been not done their homework, so take away 1. That's just a really quick way for you to look. With these as well, you can actually add additional ones, but I'll show you how to do that later. So, go back to Add Class, and we are going to create a class. I'm going to create it Demo 2, and just make them 2nd grade. Add Class, and I'm just going to put in some random names. And as you see, as you put the names in, you'll start to see the images appear. Above, you can also see you can copy and paste it from Word or Excel. So that's quite a quick way for you to be able to add all your students without having to individually put them in. So I've done adding my students, done, and I say excellent, so I can keep the parents in the loop. So at this point, it's quite a good idea to get all your invites made for you. And it prepares the invites and basically individual codes which then get sent to the parents. As you can see down the bottom, they're now there. I'm just going to ignore that and, 2 seconds, apologies. You'll just wait for that to go through again, you'll get the invites and then you can decide. You can also, which is quite excellent, is that if you have students who speak a different language, you can pick other languages. I'm then going to say done with invites, and at this point I can add more behaviour. So for example, you could say, you know, tidy in the class or anything that you really want to improve with, and the same with needs work. So that way you can personalise it. So I'm just going to finish because I'm quite happy with those. So now I've got my little class. You can then look at Frank, Grant and Hannah. If you go to Frank, I can then add various different things. So I'm going to give him on task. For Grant, he was working really hard in his work, so I'm going to give her persistence. And for Hannah, I'm going to give her teamwork. Immediately as you input that information, if the parents have signed up, they will get an automatic update, either by email or by app update, and both will give the parents an understanding of how their child's getting on. The other great thing you can do is if you have classes, you can put them into groups. You could, for example, table 1. And table 1, I'm going to put Frank and Grant in, and for table 2, I'm going to put Hannah in. Oh, there's not enough to make a group, so I'm just going to put all 3 of them in. Just there we go. So table 1 has the boys in it. What you can then do is you can actually award the group points here as well. For example, positive ones and negative ones again. So say no one at the table brought their homework, I can then deduct points. So that's kind of the basic of using the point system, and then you can get your weekly reports about how everyone's getting on and can kind of use that. It's also great if you use it for attendance, although I know we don't. The other thing you can use on it, which is quite exciting, is Class Story. Class Story is update posts that will then be emailed to parents or be sent to them through their app. So, for example, in this classroom, I could say, today we went to the shops, and we can put some information more there, and then you can post it obviously or add a photo. Again, very similar to Facebook, so nothing too complicated. With the messages, again, parents can private message you. Generally though, obviously this is something that's probably going to have to be up for discussion with the school as to how we actually use this, because obviously we have the homework diaries, but that is an aspect that is available. And again, you can edit your class, connect parents or students. That's basically the key principles of Class Dojo. Down the bottom, you've also got your award multiple, so you can pick more than one student to then give them points. And you can also randomly say, oh, well, I'm going to give Hannah a point for working hard because everyone was doing so well. You've also got your timer, so you can obviously time activities you're doing in class, which is really handy for if you're wanting the points up mid-lesson. I think the one thing that needs to kind of definitely remember with Class Dojo is, again, you know, as soon as the children have their login codes, they can then edit their little picture, their wee their wee little animal monster person, and then parents can be engaged in it. That's the basics of Class Dojo. Anything more than that really goes into deeper, but again, you can probably get a lot of that from introducing Class Dojo to your students. You can play a video, for example, which will give you some insight into what it is. And basically goes through what they should expect and how they can change their profile. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure the students really need that because most of them are quite savvy with it anyway. Again, if you want to change your photo, click on it. Class Dojo is pretty straightforward. Sorry, it's been quite long-winded. If you have any other questions, please feel free to get in touch. And also the help button's pretty helpful because it's actually one of the most kind of easy to use things online. So hopefully that's of some help. And again, let me know if there's anything else.